back to Old Gods of Appalachia, Chapter 2. I'm going to be your game master tonight. My name's Kelle. I use he and him as my pronouns, and I'm very excited to be telling you another story about what happens down in Appalachia. But before I do that, I feel it prudent to introduce the cast. Starting with Christine. Hi, Christine. How you doing today?
Well, I'm doing just fine. I'm Christine. I use she, her pronouns, and tonight I'm playing Flora Sinclair. Flora is a stout protector who gets rough and rowdy. Rough and rowdy.
She's ready to get rough and rowdy is what you mean.
Well, especially if Louisa's husband gets any further out of line.
Oh, who would ever expect that to happen? Maybe Lily-Ruth would. What do you think, Jen?
You asked me a question that wasn't who I am, so I got very, very flustered for a second there.
That's okay.
Hi, I'm Jen, and I use she, her pronouns, and I play Lily-Ruth Sinclair, the youngest of those of us here anyway.
Fantastic. Down beneath you, we've got Kelle.
Well, hey there, family. I'm Kelle, and I'm Kelle from up the road, and so is Essie. I use she, her pronouns, so does Essie. And by the way, it is Essie Sinclair, the de facto, I guess, matriarch of the family now that our mama's dead and mama's dead, and we've been a little bit scattered to the winds, but we're coming back together now.
Beautiful. And finally, last but not least, joining us is Charlie.
Hi, I'm Chicken Charlie, or Marissa Charles. I use they, them, and she, her pronouns. But today I'm playing Louise Churchill, formerly Louise Sinclair. And I'm just a good holy woman that wants to do right by God and her dear husband, Russell.
Beautiful. Now, folks, before we begin, Old Gods of Appalachia is a horror anthology podcast, and this game is based off that. That means there are going to be situations in this game that may contain horror, violence, and other sensitive subjects. Our lines are not your lines, and while we have discussed at length what we are comfortable with as a group, well, you take care of yourselves, y'all. We'll be here when you get back if you need to take a quick break, or we can always skip ahead. Don't worry, we'll still be here. Does anybody have any questions before we begin our next leg of this journey? Good. Then let's jump right in. Bleak Hollow, West Virginia, 1931. As the Sinclair girls returned to their mama's place, they settled in after a night of revelry and catching up. There ain't no place quite like home, and there ain't no place quite like the home you grew up in, to lull you into a sense of safety and security, and usher in dreams and a restful night's sleep. And yet for all that, the four Sinclair girls found themselves tossing and turning. One would snore, or one would pass gas in the middle of the night loud enough to wake the others, and then one of the others would roll over in their sleep, causing the old rusted bed springs to screech loud enough to wake the rest. In truth, the family hadn't been like, well, a family in quite some years, and this was the first time they'd shared their old room together since they'd become women. No one had the heart to sleep in their mama's cold and empty bed, though at several times that night each independently considered it. In those years apart, they'd forgotten the idiosyncrasies of sibling life and cohabitation, and they found themselves once again unaccustomed to each other. So when they woke up the next morning, bleary-eyed and stumbling around the house like they are half drunk, it wasn't until the smell of coffee and the sizzle of bacon filled the house that they began to feel somewhat human again. There's nothing quite like the restorative quality of a bit of fresh cream in a hot cup of coffee, or a bit of bacon grease on your toast to put a spring back in your step. But while the Sinclair girls were waking up together for the first time in a world without their mama, other things were afoot around Bleak Hollow. But we'll get to that soon enough, family. We're going to begin tonight. Well, this morning, I should say, inside of the kitchen there. Mist rolling in along the back field, cold autumn air stinging at your heels, your cheeks, and your wrists. Who is in the kitchen cooking?
I think that I probably am always like awake really early, specifically because I have to wake up before Russell wakes up anyway. So I'm probably cooking and making food in the kitchen.
All right.
Because
I mean, only if you could manage to kick Flora out, considering that you're probably used to getting up at 3, 4 a.m. to cook for the men.
Excuse me, none of y'all have been here for more than a month of Sundays. This is practically my kitchen now, and y'all will just mind your business.
Lily-Ruth seeds the floor.
It'll be the usual cacophony of sisterly love, I assure you.
So why don't we fade in on that with the sound of y'all barking over each other, squabbling with each other, trying to make your way around. One of you's grinding beans, another of you is toasting bread over the stove, bacon sizzling in the pan, maybe a couple of sausages, some grits. But as you're looking around, now I need to know, are you all trying to muscle each other out of the way, or are you trying to socially muscle each other out of the way? Because if so, I'd like either a might or, let's say, an intellect roll.
I'm just doing what all my older sisters tell me to.
Good.
Louisa's definitely trying to socially interact, and of course until they hit the chord that sisters can always hit, but is trying to be cordial early in the morning and understanding, and so I will do an intellect roll.
All right, that sounds good. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do a contested roll. I just want you all to roll a d20 and see who's kind of taking point at that exact moment. So that's Flora, Essie, and Louisa. Now, Flora, if you're using might to kind of muscle your way in as a stout protector, you can go ahead and do that. So roll me a d20. And Essie, are you trying to dodge in between? Are you trying to just like shout your way in and say, "Move out of the way, y'all"?
Essie's trying to be respectful because this is Mama's kitchen, and you know she never let the fighting go on too much, and she never let it get out of hand. So trying to maintain that respect.
Okay.
So they're doing her best to be, nice and polite. It's hard, but she's trying.
All right, give me a d20 roll. Let's find out what you get.
Okay. I got 17 actually.
You got a 17. Anybody beat a 17?
I didn't.
I got a 6.
I got a
six?
16.
Oh.
You got a 16? All right, so Flora, you're standing like pretty much good and center. You are cutting bacon right off the side of the block. You are doing all the chopping for, let's say you're working on some grits, and then you've also got like a little pan of sweet potato hash that's going up. But Essie's been around here longer than you have, and she remembers where a couple things got moved, and that's given her a slight edge on you. She remembers that when Mama when Mama hurt her hip last winter, she had to move some stuff to a lower shelf, and as you're going and looking for a little bit of the salt and pepper, it is not where you left it, neither is the sugar. In fact, where is the sugar bowl anyway? And Essie's gonna pluck it out of a place that seems to you like a damn fool place to keep sugar.
Yeah, it was on the sideboard in the kitchen, which I know, but Mama moved it there, and I haven't had the heart to move it back.
And Louisa, you were standing there in the middle of the eye of the storm, just trying to not get knocked over as you are stirring the grits and making sure that things don't congeal too much, and making sure that toast don't burn, because that's important. However, simultaneously, the three of you are going to look around, and you're going to see you got your sweet potato hash right there, you got your bacon right there, you got curfew, you got toast, you even got some grits.
Can't forget grits.
Can't forget grits, but you know what you forgot? Looking around, there ain't an egg in the house.
Well, shoot.
Looking outside, you can see the mist rolling over the chicken coops. You keep a respectable number of chickens. You know, a handful of them. Ain't got a rooster in a while. You used to stud out when you needed more chickens with the neighbors. But you still got, you got Wendy and Olympia and Henrietta out there. They're good layers. Now someone's just got to go get them.
I'll go. You guys are quite busy, and I'm sure that these grits look pretty much done. So I'll go out to the coop.
Oh, that sounds good. Here's the basket, and take a tea towel with you.
Of course. I remember how to...
Keep them from getting too cold.
Of course. Lily-Ruth, I'm leaving you in charge of the toast. If it burns, it's on your head.
Rather the toast than the chickens.
That's true. And then I'm take my basket with the tea towel in it and just go outside.
All right, so Louisa, you head outside, wandering along toward the chickens. The grass is dewy and wet, and on your shoes you feel the cold begin to seep through. Now I'm betting you're wearing the type of shoes that show a little bit of the top of your foot.
Yeah, definitely. They're like a little low cut. They're like fancy. They're not practical. They're definitely made to look good and not be good.
Well, this is unfortunate because as you get out to the coop, you can see that the chickens look like they've made a right mess of the place. There's feed and, well, chicken leavings, we'll say, smashed all over the place, and you're going to have to walk through quite a bit of that in order to get to those eggs.
Oh, how I do not miss the farm. She, like, tips her way kind of over and, like, tries to avoid things, but is not doing it well. Is stepping in everything.
All right, so you're going to be kind of focused on that, and as you do, you can see inside of the coop, and well, there's the nest right there, and it's dark inside. You know, still really early in the morning, but the sun's beginning to turn the mist into a little bit of glow and haze. And as you reach in, you grab an egg, and it's actually pretty cold, to be honest, but damned if everything out here isn't a bit cold. You grab one egg, two egg, and see, well, there's 4 of you, so you need at least 4. A third one. And then as you grab in, your hand brushes a bit of feather. Startles you for a minute.
Okay. It's okay. We're okay. Oh, sorry, continue.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. What are you doing?
It would startle me for a second, and then I'd get like, I'd be like, it's just a chicken. Like, so I'd try to lift the feather up, because I think the chicken's just sitting on the eggs to like roll them out.
As you lift it up, it's gonna flop out of your hand like it don't weigh nothing.
I scream.
Okay, as you pull your hand back and scream, you realize the tips of your fingers are covered in blood.
I use the tea towel and start wiping my hands. And then I want to investigate the chicken.
All right, what I'd like you to do is, we're going to make an intellect roll to take a look around here. Okay. Do you have anything that aids in investigative tasks? Or in animal husbandry or anything like that? And everybody else, I'm going to give you a difficulty 5 intellect roll to hear this. Because you're inside, you're squawking at each other as much as these chickens would have done. Lily-Ruth, you're going to be at a difficulty of 6 because of your hindrance.
Yes.
And of course, for those who are learning the system, when I give a difficulty number, we multiply that by 3. So that is the number for the D20. Yes, Charlie, what you got?
I don't have anything for animals.
Okay. So I'm going to say this is going to be a difficulty of, if you're just investigating the area, roughly, I'm going to give that a difficulty of 3.
Okay, and then...
Do you have a light source of some type, actually?
I have a lantern.
Okay, if you with the lantern, that's gonna be a 3. Yeah, I'm not gonna raise the difficulty with the lantern.
Great. I got a 7.
You got a 7. That's not gonna be enough, unfortunately.
Can I add some of my pool into it?
So, so effort is spent beforehand.
Okay, never mind then.
Okay.
I would not have tried to effort that.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
but good to know. Good to know.
Good to know. So, all right. So, taking a look around, it's pretty dark out here, and you are seeing a lot of blood. It is an absolute wreck inside that coop. As you look in, you were seeing that there is a mass of blood and feathers, and honestly, you wouldn't even know if that was a chicken if you didn't know it was. You see a single chicken's foot, bent and gnarled, a couple of its claws chewed off.
God, heavens to Betsy, what happened to you, poor soul? And I'm going to pray for the chicken.
Pray for the chicken. All right, roll to pray for the chicken.
Okay.
Don't actually roll. I mean, do if you want to. I don't care. All right, everybody else, you were looking for a 15 to hear that scream.
Okay.
I got a 4.
I
I'm
just
focused
met
on that toast real hard.
Well, what was that,
I
Christine?
got a 9. I'm
You got a 9?
wrangling
What'd you get?
y'all.
I rolled a 15.
You got a 15, so you're going to hear a shriek outside.
Did Louisa ever used to shriek when chickens got her?
No,
Well,
Louisa's pretty unfazed, I think, in historically context.
She's gonna give Lester and delegate the rest of her cooking to Lily-Ruth and go look out the door and call to Louisa. Like,
Okay.
hey, you okay?
She's a city girl now. Who knows? She ain't been out there in a coon's age.
Something's really wrong with this chicken, and I'm gonna pick it up and hold it outside the coop to show my sisters. Now that
So-
I've prayed over its soul.
Louisa picks up a mass of bloody feathers and meat. And as she does, a length of what could only be a bit of liver slides down and drops to the ground with a wet, meaty thwap.
Okay.
Flora's gonna go get her shotgun.
Okay?
Just in case whatever did that is still hanging around.
You rack one into the chamber as you pass by your
No,
sisters.
she just will have it over her
Okay.
shoulder, ready to go, and because she doesn't, it's probably not around its daylight, but just
Probably
in
a
case,
weasel.
she's gonna go out and see if she can figure out what got in or how they got in.
All right. So why don't you go ahead and give me an intellect roll. Difficulty 3. Unless you have something that lowers that.
Okay, when you say difficulty 3, what does that mean exactly?
It means a 9.
Okay, so everything gets multiplied by 3.
That is correct.
Yeah, so you got to roll 9 or better. Is that correct?
9 or better.
Okay.
9 or better.
Unless you have something that helps with investigation, in which case that lowers it by 3.
I rolled an 18.
An 18, all right. So heading out there with Louisa, holding this bloody mass of feathers, you head out there and look around, peeking around the side of the coop. Her lantern helps you, and between that, the two of you are going to look around, and you're going to see that the chicken wire at the back of the coop is torn up. Hell, with an 18, you look at it, and there's a hole about big enough for a Rottweiler to climb through. Big dog, not just a fox or a weasel, something like that. But we're talking a good foot across, tore up. More than that, though, as you touch the chicken wire, you're going to notice that it weren't torn.
It was
The
clipped,
chicken wire.
wasn't it?
Sorry?
It was clipped, wasn't it?
No. It flicks off in your hand, black and burned, like someone set fire to it. Chicken wire can burn. It ain't that strong. This is like, you've seen chicken wire before like this that's been like tossed onto like an oil fire or something like that. It's singed.
Is there any other evidence of fire, though?
If you look, you're going to see that there is a little bit of blackening around the underside of the coop where this, it looks like whatever got into the coop came in through the back, burned a hole in the side, scrabbled underneath the coop, which of course it's a raised coop with a little ramp for the chickens. And it looks like the underside of the coop burned as this thing scrabbled in. Looking around, you're going to root around inside of the coop, and you're going to see that Wendy and Olympia are just gone. Well, most of them, anyway. Louisa's holding what you're pretty sure is Olympia. Big brown feathers. But at the back, you're going to be able to peek inside and see Henrietta, your mama's prize chicken. Just out of reach of whatever stuck its head in the coop. She's passed as well. What it looks like from fright. But whatever got in didn't get to her. However, as you look at her, you're going to smell burnt fur and feathers.
Well, I don't think we're getting any eggs today.
You know what? I think that you got 3 before this begun somehow. And as you look down at those 3, there is a good chance that those are flash boiled in the shell.
Louisa kind of looks at it and goes, well, in times of strife, we must take the little blessings. And she's going to crack one open to see if it's boiled. Like start peeling an egg.
The smell of sulfur comes out at you. And you're going to see that it has turned gray and putrid inside of the shell.
Flora, I wouldn't recommend eating this, but like, it's cooked.
We cut back inside of the kitchen, where breakfast is finished being made, the coffee's ready, the toast is good, the grits are there, the bacon is, well, bacon's always bacon. Bacon's like love, even when it's bad, it's still bacon. And then there's that sweet potato hash as well. What are the 2 of you talking about while you're in there without your other 2 sisters?
I'll probably just catching up, finding out what Lily-Ruth has been up to, how she's enjoying teaching, and
yeah, it's going well so far.
So where are you going to be teaching out of?
Oh, you know, new school they built.
In Bleak Holler?
I can't actually remember if it was here or just nearby.
Yep, it's inside of the hollow.
Oh. Okay.
Yep. It's a big red schoolhouse they just built this past year. You're the first school marm that's ever worked there, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is a treat, having you come home. Guess it's not so bad for you to be here already, then. At least you're not too far from where you gotta be eventually.
It's true. Where did Flora run off to?
I don't know if they've decided to go hunting that dang old weasel or what. Can't. That's the only thing I can think of. Get in there
Weasel?
and go. Well, yeah, there's weasels around. They're always going after eggs and chickens, and I'll just see what they're doing. She's gonna go out on the porch and just holler and ask, like, what's taking you two so long? Got the coffee ready and everything.
I think at this point, Flora is looking to see if there's any other, like, did this thing just suddenly pop into existence right by the chicken coop and burn its way in, or is there a trail of burn to here?
You'll see that the ground over here is pretty barren, but there's one patch of grass just on the other side of the chicken coop, and there, the ground's a bit softer. And with that 18-year-old before, you're going to see that there's a single large paw print in the ground, about the size of your own palm. Well, maybe not your palm. You're pretty stout. But Louisa's? Yeah, probably. Something big. Like I said, about the size of a Rottweiler or some other large dog.
I mean, if it's palm size of a wolfhound, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah, definitely not a beagle. This is at least the size of like a German Shepherd or something bigger like that. Could be a wolf. There's still wolves in Appalachia at this time. Probably wasn't a coyote.
I mean, I don't know what sort of wolf can burn its way into a chicken coop.
Clever one.
One with maybe 2 thumbs.
You don't see any thumb marks on the ground. Nor, with a cursory look, do you see any footprints aside from your own.
So I think she'll go back. She'll help Louisa back out of the chicken coop.
Okay.
And then go back in and... they're all gone. Essie.
What happened?
Something got in the chicken coop.
Oh, Lord.
Burned its way through the back.
Burnt?
Burned.
The eggs are bloody cooked.
Well, I wouldn't really call them cooked. I'd call them, overly done. And then I put a sulfur gray egg in front of them. And then,
Lord.
Now, I would like everyone to do me a favor now. When these eggs enter the house, it was uncomfortable. When they're put in front of you in an enclosed space, I would like everybody here to make me a might roll, not to excuse themselves from the room over a moment. Because as you set that down, the yolk is going to separate and let out the stink that only people from the eastern part of the world would probably recommend, or probably recognize as a durian type of scent comes out of this.
Oh, yeah, I've been, I know what durian
I
smells
rolled
like.
a 16.
All right, you are going to suddenly recognize the folly of your ways, but we'll be fine. And can take a moment, realize this, and huck it out into the yard.
Yeah, that's absolutely what I do.
16.
16,
does that
all
help?
right.
What was the difficulty?
A might roll.
Sorry, I was
So-
looking to see if I had anything to.
Oh, we're just
not...
doing might.
Totally. It's going to be a might roll. It's going to be difficulty of 12. Well, it's going to be difficulty of 4, I should say.
Yeah.
Difficulty of 12 would be problematic.
Yeah, I was like, we don't have enough dice.
This egg is
That
the
doesn't
great
roll
beast
high
Cthulhu.
Damn.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
I got a 14.
You got a 14, and Flora.
woo.
I think Flora has a lifetime of experience at this point at abruptly trying to suction her nose closed and just starting to breathe a bit through her mouth with that 20.
With that
Ooh,
20,
thank
that is
heavens.
beautiful. All right, with the 20, is that a natural 20?
Well,
We don't add anything to the die roll, so yeah.
No, we don't. We
All right.
can't
Oh,
add
you're
anything.
Right, you're right. Of course it is. I'm sorry. It's a new system. So with a
I
natural
know.
20,
Supposed to
you're
be
gonna
adding
get
something to it?
with a natural 20, you're going to get an additional benefit. You're going to look down at the 2 other eggs inside of Louisa's basket, and you are going to realize You think these shells will stay intact until they're broken. These could be a potent tool of mischief. These eggs are going to count as 2 ciphers, which you can add to your sheet. They're stink eggs. Or devil's eggs. Should we call them that? Because I think it's funnier.
Yeah, that's funnier.
Lily-Ruth is very curious about everything here and is like trying to investigate them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think Flora's gonna take those extra ones and stick them in a basket, kind of wrapped up a little with not a good tea towel, but like one for rag. Meant for the dirty jobs, and put it maybe kind of up a little, but outside where it's cooler.
All right,
And so that if they do break, they don't contaminate the indoors.
Oh, heavens no.
All
Can
right,
I use my
Lily-Ruth.
skill in science to
Absolutely.
figure out what might have happened here?
Absolutely. Go ahead. You can use your, you can give me, so your skill in science is going to lower this. So let's say investigating this was going to be a difficulty of 3. If you're specifically looking at the eggs, but because of your science, we're going to lower that to a 2. So I need you to roll a 6, 7, or up.
Cool. I would also like to, I guess technically it's an action, but I probably can do both at the same time since we're not like in combat.
Yeah, what's up?
But, I have my Know the Unknowable Tier 1 Applied Observation. It costs 2 intellect points, and when I observe or study a creature, object, or location for at least 1 round, the next time I interact with it, a related task is eased.
Okay. Well, we'll just say that you take a minute or 2 to do that. Look around. Go investigate the entire scene of the crime. That means you're looking at difficult 9?
Yeah.
You need a difficulty 3 with that ease and that skill. So, or pardon me, not difficulty 3. You needed a total of 3 to do this. I get it eventually, folks. Don't worry.
I thought. Sorry, I wanted to use. Well, I still only needed difficulties, or I needed a 6, but because the applied observation, I was just thinking if because it just says the next time, possibly the following round, but the next time.
Right.
So
Okay.
I just for a future time, I kind of
Okay, you
want
just wanted to save that for a few. That sounds good to me. So
Yeah.
you still got enough to succeed on your roll. So as you're looking around with science, you're going to see that it appears that whatever this egg is, that egg looks like it went rancid inside of its shell. However, inside of the hermetically sealed chamber of an egg, well, whatever happened in there, there weren't nothing. Well, there weren't nowhere for the bacteriological mechanism of rot to go. Something kept this almost like at a low boil, incubating and brewing much like the way that, well, like a whiskey distillery would be. Compounding and creating those putrefacting scents over and over again, concentrating them down into the sulfuric compounds inside of that egg, making nature's perfect stink bomb. This would make a skunk blush. You're going to notice that from the egg. Now, how the hell it did that, you have no idea, because that don't seem natural to you. The eggshell should have broken, the very least, from the pressure. But this is rotten beyond belief and such that it kept a heat on it. And as you head out to that chicken coop to take a look, you were going to notice some of the things that Flora did. Not all of them, because you didn't roll quite as well. Well, but you got science to ease it. So you're going to notice the usual signs. An animal breaks into a chicken coop and tears it apart, but it's the heat that's going to catch you off guard. Whatever it did, whatever did this weren't anywhere near natural. It's like the animal's fur was on fire. But if that were the case, you'd expect a lot more pieces of whatever broke in here around here, and probably cooked to barbecue temperature.
Yeah, or some sort of crispy corpse or something.
And as you're standing out there and looking around, you're going to notice one more thing. It's early morning in Appalachia. And yet, for about half an acre around your chicken coop, there ain't a single bird singing, cawing, or calling. Even the crows that normally would be picking through this type of mess. Oh, you can hear them in the distance. They ain't over here. Almost like they don't want to be. Almost like they knows better.
I'll head back inside.
All right. As you're heading back inside, and the rest of you are eating, starting to get on with your day. Do you all say anything as you're eating, or are you just kind of eat in silence after all this?
I think Lily-Ruth is pretty quiet. She usually is, but she's very quiet at this. I think she's just lost in thought more than anything.
All right.
Well, Essie will be wanting to know everything that happens because she didn't go outside. She wants to know just what exactly was out there. What did y'all see? Because this don't sound normal. That don't sound like that weasel that's around.
It definitely wasn't no weasel.
I think Flora's just trying to turn over in head of what in hell could that have been? Animal lag, but fire? Like, there is no animal that runs that hot. And just kind of turning over the weirdness of it.
And as you're going through all that in your head, you finish your breakfast and start just stacking up your plates, or start thinking, start staring off into the distance, and that's when you hear the sound of gravel being parted out front underneath the wheels of a truck. And then
You
immediately go?
I immediately just tense up and go look up.
Yeah.
Getting up and looking out the front window, you are going to see the Kilpatricks.
I take a breath.
Now, they said they'd be by in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then I turn and go, Lily-Ruth, your boyfriend's here.
What? Who? What? She's so confused.
I think she means Emmett.
You hear some boots.
Oh,
He said he was coming by today.
My bike, right. And she'll
Morning?
she'll go up to the door if nobody else is close enough to answer it at this point.
Well, you see Emmett come
If we know it's Emmett, she'll
Flora's
just...
not now.
Yeah.
Flora's moving real slow.
Heck, if Essie knows it's Emmett, she'll just tell him to come on in.
Are you sure it's okay?
Come on in, Emmett. It's all good.
Okay, I'm a little mussy. And he pushes in
That's
the front
all right.
door. Now, yesterday he was in some pretty relaxed clothes, but today is a working day, and as such, he's wearing his work boots, he's wearing a pair of coveralls, and you can see that they've been cleaned recently, but they are still streaked with coal dust from being down in the mines. In one hand, he is holding the crossbar of your bicycle, and with the other, he pushes the front door open. Sorry to intrude. I said
okay,
I'd drop this
Emmett.
off in the morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, it ain't no problem at all. It weren't too badly damaged either, so it didn't take me long to fix it once I got home to my tools.
That's good.
That's
That
right.
said,
See you, Emmett.
ma'am, Lily-Ruth, you're a ways out right now, and it's pretty darn cold. Do you need a ride to the schoolhouse? I'm heading by there to get to the mine.
No, that's okay.
Are you sure you don't want to be on
Lily-Ruth, Lily-Ruth, don't be coy. We wouldn't want you catching a chill.
I won't. It's fine.
Louisa, I can give you a lift too if you're heading back into town. I don't know what you ladies are planning for the day, but Miriam's at home today. It's her day off, so I got 2 extra seats plus the bed. But it's pretty slick and cold in there. I wouldn't have anybody but my dog riding there.
That's fair.
I wouldn't have my dog riding there either, to be honest. But
I don't know. What are we doing today?
depends. Are you going back to Russell?
Oh, I guess I probably have to. Yeah.
How long did Russell tell you to come and stay for?
He's
kept you
as long as you need.
I thought.
He packed you a fair number of clothes. I thought.
Out of game. I thought he dipped town. I thought he wasn't in town anymore.
He's gonna be out of town for a couple of days. Yeah. So you.
But I probably. Oh yeah. So of course I love to go into town. I gotta go check on things because Russell's away. But thank you so much for the offer, Emmett.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, if you don't need to go into town, if y'all, I don't want to. I was just offering, Lily-Ruth. If you ain't going, then that's fine.
No, I'd just rather ride my bike. It's good exercise, you know?
Look at you getting into fitness. Whew. It's so cultured.
Thanks for fixing it.
Yeah, no problem at all. I'll just lean it up against here. What's that smell? You got your septic backed up?
Oh no, we found a bad egg this morning.
Oh.
Seems we had a intruder in the chicken coop.
Intruder?
So
like a fox?
Something like that.
I thought it was a weasel, but maybe a fox, or maybe even a very, very brave or skinny wolf. So if you hear anybody who's got some chickens that they're looking to parcel out, I wouldn't mind to have a few.
I'll keep a lookout. I ain't got anything. Sorry.
That's okay. It's okay.
All right. So, was I giving anybody a lift just to be sure? No. Yeah.
No, but thank you.
All right. Well, ladies, you have a good day, and ride safe.
You take care now. God bless you, Emmett.
You too. Sorry about the
Stay
car,
safe, Emmett.
Oh, Flora, you're here. Oh, good. Hi.
Where did you think I would be? You dropped me off last night.
Honestly, given what I know of you, Flora, these days, you could have been halfway to Timbuktu by now.
That's true.
I mean that is a joke. I didn't mean that with no offense. I just mean you're a bit of a carpetbagger that way.
I think it would have taken me more than the evening to get halfway there, but
I think you're resourceful.
she's kind of mentally going through the steps.
Miriam told me some of the stuff you girls got up to when you were teenagers. So anyway, shoot, I'm gonna be glad I could get to the mines. We got a new vein we're opening up today. So have a good one. And he's gonna run back to his truck. And we'll pull out down the road, leaving the four of you by yourselves. Now, Lily-Ruth, is today a school day?
I was thinking it was.
Well, today's a school day. You got you got at least an hour to get across town, so you got some time. You're probably leaving not too long a time, though. But what about
she's planning on leaving pretty imminently.
Pretty imminently, as soon as you see the tail lights vanish?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
She does have to open the schoolhouse and prepare for her day, and so she might as well do all that there.
Anybody else looking to head into town or do anything else like that?
No.
Yeah, I'll probably go into town and see if I can talk to some folks. Specifically, I might stop into the bank and see if I can conjure up a better deal than maybe Essie. but I'm not going to tell Essie that.
All right.
Lord. Okay.
Okay. Now,
if Louise is going in, and especially after seeing her freeze up each time it seemed like somebody was approaching the house in a vehicle, Flora will offer to go with her for company.
all right. Now, Essie, do you have a vehicle, or do you not?
That's a good question. Wasn't really thinking of that. Maybe.
Do you have the funds for that? Or do you just call in a favor from a nearby neighbor?
She probably has an old truck. There's probably an old truck that was her daddy's and was their daddy's, and
Okay,
it still runs. You know, it runs fairly okay. It doesn't look all that great, but it runs. It's good enough to get into town and back, and courtesy of, you know, good old Emmett's a good boy and does what he can to help out. So.
All right. So, loaning it to Flora and Louisa, they're going to be able to make their way into town slowly but surely. And Lily-Ruth, you riding your bike, or are you going to throw it in the back of the truck and have them drop you off since they ain't Emmett?
No, I'm still gonna ride my bike.
Still going to ride your bike. All right, so with that, we're going to split our party across town. And we're going to run some scenes in short order. Lily-Ruth, we're going to start with you. So Lily-Ruth, as you make your way across town riding your bike, you depart from your sisters, taking a moment to process some things as you ride. Before long, you're going to find yourself all the way across town, riding as the sun begins to rise over the Blue Ridges. The mist begins to clear. Before long, the coat you wore to shield you from the elements becomes more of a hindrance than a benefit. You take a moment, switch it off, wipe the sweat off your brow, and finish up the ride. It is a largely uneventful trip. And before long, you're going to find yourself there at the schoolhouse. Pull your keys out, open up the front locks, clean the rest of the blackboard off, do all the setup and prep that you need to do every morning. Is there anything in particular that you're getting up to?
I wanted to make sure that I brought the dish back for
absolutely. It's in the basket
the
of your.
bannons.
It's in the basket of your bicycle.
Excellent. A little easier to hang on to when it's, you know, empty and clean and just can be shoved in any which way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to look up some information in some of my books about word blindness.
About word blindness?
For little Jude, given what he told me.
That's a good... I want you to do me a favor. I want you to make me a roll with science. It's going to be at a difficulty of... with your easing, we'll say it's difficulty of 2. So I want a 6 and up.
Cool. It's a 16.
A 16. So you start doing a bit of studying and looking around and getting into things. And before long, you're going to learn a little bit about this concept, this dyslexia. Now, as a game master, I gotta say, I don't know about the foundations of study into dyslexic affairs, but...
It's called word blindness at this point in time.
Is it called word blindness at this time? Wow, you
it
did
is.
your research. All right, so
I did it in the middle of
blindness.
last game.
Oh, that's beautiful. All right, so what do you tell me? So you will know everything that there is to know about word blindness that can be found through basic study at this day and age. You know that, well, I mean, what
I guess
what was the
technically it is
consensus?
dyslexia now too, but yeah, I forgot that part.
So what was word blindness considered back then?
So it's a congenital defect occurring in children with otherwise normal and undamaged brains, characterized by difficulty in learning to read.
Were there any
I feel like it was something that was brought up in Lily-Ruth's schooling as like something to keep an eye out for like in kids. I don't know if they, I mean, even these days, you know, who really knows how to help dyslexic kids, right?
Well, definitely, we're moving into a stage these days where different like fonts and cases are changing into more of a typographical method for dealing with it, but I think back then that probably would have been not what you would need to do.
Yeah, it looks like it was, there's a lot of suggestion of teaching children that seem to have this problem, like more one-on-one, very focused attention. And so I think she's looking for any of these potential strategies that she briefly learned about in her schooling, but is like, oh, now I have a child who might be dealing with this. Let's see what I can learn.
That sounds good. You're going to be able to put together the beginnings of a lesson plan. In the meanwhile, you're going to move a lot of your studies and teachings to more verbal ones. Not making the students read, because that would be torturous, but making sure a lot of it is a little more performative rather than book learning.
Yeah.
And to be fair, books are a little sparse these days anyway, so you've been doing that, a lot of that as it is. But leaning a little heavier on that to try to get some of these concepts across, particularly ones that would normally require some type of reading, arithmetic, or anything like that. The upcoming spelling bee, well...
I already told him he could be my helpful little judge, so...
Alright. He'll keep score? Something like that?
Yeah. Keep score, and just, I'm gonna get him to follow along with the words. Like, whatever word I'm asking the child to spell, I'll just point at on a sheet, and he can, like, maybe try and follow along as well. We'll see.
All right. So, you're headed through the day, and it is, well, your students pile in, and they are all ages, they are all backgrounds inside of Bleak Hollow, and they are, well, righteous terrors, as children of any age tend to be. However, if you mix a bunch of them up like they'd used to in the old days, it's even worse. And with the bunch of you there, well, with the bunch of them there, up against you, you have a very exhausting day. And as such, you were going to leave the day feeling a bit exhausted. However, at the end of it, as you were cleaning up, you return, of course, the dishes to Mr. O'Bannon, to young Master O'Bannon, I should say. And as you're cleaning up, some of the boys are going to be playing outside. And can you make me an intellect roll to overhear something?
Yes, I can.
I would love it.
I rolled a 19.
Dang. So that's going to be a minor boon with this. So as you listen in, you're going to hear some of the kids outside. Nuh-uh, it's real. My brother said he saw it down in the mines. Oh, come on. You're just pulling my leg. None of that joshing no more. Ain't no monsters in the mine. No, he said it did exist. He said he saw it. It was a big black dog. Looked like it ate a bunch of burning coal. It shit it, too. Oh, now you're just fooling. No, big old pellets of coal burned right through the floor. And when this thing burped, it burped fire. And when it pissed fire, too. Come on, Clem. Tell a good story this time. Tell the one about the spacemen. Now, Clement. You know Clement Fields? Clement Fields is a local storyteller. He's 12 years old. Probably could have a career as a writer in front of him for all the books he reads. One of the only kids in the class that actually has eyeglasses. He's a big, stocky boy. The beginning of a gut hanging over his belt. But, damned if he doesn't tell a good story. On some of the English lessons you've had to do where you had them write about summer break, he's told the most fantastical things about ghosts stealing his sister's hairbrush and using it to brush the cat near bald. He told a story about a time that the Thanksgiving turkey came to life and pardoned the family. And those are just some of the normal ones.
I like this kid.
Now, of course, none of the other kids believe a damn thing that comes out of his mouth. But Clem's a good boy. In some ways. His dad, Huck Fields, is a foreman at the mine. And his older brother works there too. A boy you actually went to school with named Atticus Fields. You tell the stupidest stories. Come on. A burning dog? I swear, he seen it. He told me he seen it. He said it was as big as, as big as you, Otis. Of course, that ain't too big. Runt. And then you hear the sound of smacking flesh and crying out and the sound of boys wrestling and damn near tearing their school clothes on the ground.
I'll go break that up. Now. You may not be in school, but you're within my hearing, so break that up.
You know what? I'm going to give you 2 experience points, Lily-Ruth, because Clem is getting into it with Otis, and Otis is a little boy. Now, Otis is 13 years old, but damned if he doesn't look like he's 8. Something didn't grow right in Otis. You can see it when you look him in the eyes. There's something missing in there, that ability to calm yourself down, that ability to keep yourself in check. There's always one kid like this, the one who'll take any dare for a nickel, hell for a penny, hell for a dare. He'll eat anything, do anything, climb anything, fight anything. And once you get him going, it's hard to get him turned off. So when this wrestling began, it was a fun match, but the moment he hit the ground, you could see that like a bull seeing red. Otis went a little wild. And as you try to break it up, he's going to rear back and is going to catch you right in the side of the mouth with his elbow as he goes to punch on Clem. You're going to lose a point of might. But I'm going to give you 2 experience points for it. So
fair, and that just comes out of my pool, right?
Just comes out of your pool. It comes back when you rest.
Okay, cool.
However, that means you get 1 point of experience, and you get a gift one to someone else. And tell me why you would like to give them that point.
I will give it to Flora for taking a shotgun out to the chicken shed.
All right, so Flora, mark a point of XP.
Makes sense. Yeah, so Lily-Ruth will kind of rear back as she catches that elbow.
He turns.
Otis. Calm. Breathe. It's
I want
okay.
you to give me a roll to calm him down. So that's going to be an intellect roll, please.
Cool. I'm just seeing if there's anything that helps me here. Probably not.
Okay. He's only a difficulty 3, so you're looking at a 9 for this.
I rolled a 9.
Perfect. And normally he'd be higher, but the fact that he socked his teacher in the mouth is going to give you an ease on that. Because you start to see the recognition in his eyes as you got a split lip and a little bit of blood beading down the side of it, ruining your makeup.
Yeah. Just breathe. It's okay.
Oh, Miss Lily-Ruth, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do none of that.
I know.
I didn't mean to hit you. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna like kind of pull him in, like arm around his shoulder. Not super. I'm not gonna over comfort him if he's like trying to pull away from me, but I want to reassure him that I'm not mad. I kind of walked into that elbow, honestly.
It's true. So he's gonna panic a bit, and you're gonna calm him down. You're gonna feel that he starts to shudder against you. And as he does, you're gonna look down, you're gonna see that the other boys are giving you a bit of space. And in the wrestling, well, he's wearing a button-up shirt. Most of these boys are. Button-up shirts are pretty common these days. Some of the buttons got tore off. And that's giving this little boy who's wearing hand-me-downs a bit of slack around his neck. And you're going to see His shoulders and back are rife with black and brown splotches. Like someone took a switch to it.
Okay, it's okay.
Are you okay? I'm sorry, I didn't mean nothing.
I know. I'm
You just
fine.
said I was small, and I ain't small. I'm gonna grow, and I'm gonna be big.
You know what? Being small ain't the worst thing.
I'm a boy.
Big guys... But big guys like him take all the attention and you can, you know, work well in their shadows. Just be sneaky, you know? Small. You might grow. It's true. You've got a lot of years left. But if you don't, it's not the worst.
Can I go home now? I'm sorry. You're not going to tell my pa, are you?
I'm not going to tell anyone, okay?
You guys aren't going to tell no one either. We ain't going to tell... We're not going to tell anybody. You stop trying to punch me in the nuts. Excuse me, Miss Lily-Ruth.
You're excused.
He was trying to. Shut up! The way he can win a fight. Shut up!
They poke at you because they know they can.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Not poke back? Then they're gonna think that I'm a coward. I ain't yellow.
I know it's hard, but sometimes no reaction makes them stop.
Maybe. Okay.
You can give it a try. If it doesn't work, you can go on back to, you know, punching them you know where.
You mean it?
Just not on school grounds. I'm obligated to stop you.
Okay. I'll do my best, Miss Lily-Ruth, and if they mess with me, I'll try to turn the other cheek, just like the good book. And if I turn too many cheeks,
You spin right around and, you know, knock them down.
thank you. I'm sorry
You're
about
welcome.
your lip.
Oh, it's nothing. I grew up with a lot of sisters, and they get rough.
They do? I
Oh,
thought this is...
you betcha they do.
Oh. Come on, Otis. You coming or not? She said you could go. I'm gonna go now.
Go on.
Sorry again. He's gonna skitter off. Leaving you there to do your usual cleanup and go. Your lip does hurt like the dickens, though, and you're damn lucky that didn't hit your teeth.
Yep. I'll, you know, blot the blood away until it clots, and...
Is there anything else that you're planning to do today?
As much as I love my family, I left for a reason, and they can be a bit much. So I think Lily-Ruth is taking a little bit of time for herself, and, you know, getting some groceries and whatnot to use in her own, wherever she's staying.
All right, you'll make your way over to the grocery store. You're going to start to go and grab some of the usual things. And as you do, you head into the local Piggly Wiggly downtown. And it is a bright day down in the center of town. It's almost 4 o'clock by the time you make it in there on your bike. The town is spread out in front of you. You head into the Piggly Wiggly, and, well, it's a typical modern convenience store. Well, grocery store, I should say. And as you head inside, you are greeted by a sight you had not expected. Red pigtails, red freckles, sitting behind the register. was none other than Miriam, Emmett's sister. Lily-Ruth, what are you doing in here?
I just finished up at the school for the day.
Surprised you
Figured
didn't
I'd pick
take a
up
ride.
some supplies.
Surprised you didn't take a ride with my brother.
I wanted to ride my bike.
You're hopeless. We got more cream corn if you're hungry.
Thank you. And she's just gonna go. The more people keep trying to insist on it, the more she's denying it. She's just like, nope, nope.
All right, and she's gonna just let you go do some shopping and take care of yourself as you're going around town. Meanwhile, not too far away, we're gonna cut in on Louisa and Flora as they sit across the desk from, well, one Mr. Rory Milton. The sound of the bank is all around, typewriters and customers. He sits across the desk from you once again, a sweaty man whose gluttonous protuberances stretch both his shirt, vest, and his suspenders. He leans across the table, fiddling with his wedding ring, which you can see the sides of his fingers swelling up around. And as you're there, I'm gonna get you to do me a favor. I want both of you to make me an intellect roll, only difficulty 2. If you have
I do. I have a ability called Community Connection.
Okay.
And it means, let me re-scroll up to it.
So I'm asking for this roll specifically for noticing things about other people.
Oh.
But that roll will come up soon, so you find that roll.
Says I'm trained. Oh, okay. Yeah. For seeing people? No, I don't have anything for... I have things for persuading people, not percepting people.
Okay, I mean like empathy or medicine or anything like that.
I have friendly advice.
Friendly advice. Don't worry, that's going to come up. You save that rule.
So I know my friends' strengths and weaknesses, how to motivate them to succeed.
All right. So give me that roll, difficulty of 2. Looking for a 6.
11.
11. All right, that's enough.
I got a 6.
Woohoo!
You got a 6. Both of you are going to see the man in front of you. Well, he's a large man, but he ain't normally this puffy. You can see that the light in his office is dimmed pretty low. Only the blinds are drawn, and there's only a single desk lamp illuminating the papers in front of him as he sits in front of you. And in the dimness, damn near almost covers up that his wife applied a decent amount of makeup to his face this morning. Perhaps this afternoon? One side of his face, around the ocular cavity of his right side, you can see is puffy and black and blue. And through the edge of his vest, you can see there's little, just bare drops of beaded blood around the edge of his chest. Good morning, ladies. Or good afternoon, I should say. You here with that deposit?
Mr. Milton, God bless you, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. I just want to come and sit, since I was unable to make your last meeting with my older sister, and go over some of the more finer details. Love my sister to bits, but finer details are not her strong suit, so...
Well, absolutely. Well, it is good to see you, but,
Are you well, Mr. Milton?
no, I had a bit of a tumble this morning coming down the stairs, to be frank, and something I should get fixed at my house, but never you mind. That's nothing worth talking about. I have some unfortunate news for both of you, though. When I was talking to Essie yesterday, I may have overstepped my bounds. I've spoken to the bank. I've spoken to the district manager of the bank, and he disagrees with the payment plan that I proposed. Unfortunately, your mother, your mama was in quite a bit of arrears.
Well, Mr. Milton, I'm sure that you understand that I'm not my mama, and that I, as you have seen from me and Russell, have quite skilled money skills, and I for sure would love to make a deal between us. And this is where I would like to use my community connection.
Okay.
Which, when I'm speaking to others in the community, I have a strong connection to. I'm trained in persuasion and intimidation about topics that directly relate to community. I assume that my mother was a community figure, so thus my house is a community staple.
All right, you know what? I'll allow it. I think that's pretty good. So that's going to ease at one level. So now we are getting into something a little wild right now, Charlie. What we're going to be talking about right now is that you are at difficulty of 6 for this.
Okay.
That is going to drop it to difficulty 5 with your community connections. So you can also, you can spend a point, or I believe it's, is it 2 or 3 points of your, what's your edge?
My edge is 1.
Okay, so if you have 1 edge in intellect, then it is going to cost you 2 points of your intellect to reduce that down to a 4. So it's difficulty a 4 or a 12 on the dice.
Okay, so I'm down to 9, and
that
I'm going to roll
when you
rest.
So you roll a d20. You're looking for a 9.
Got a 19.
You got a 9. Holy crap! All right, so that's going to be a minor effect. So a natural 19, as we were talking about before, means that you are going to, well, combat's the easiest one, but you are going to get some type of benefit from this. You're going to say that, and he's going to reach into his pocket. He's going to dab his sweaty forehead and go, "Ladies, the district manager is real serious about this. I've done my best to make sure that we could do what we could to keep your house in check, but I can give you a small extension. Not as good as I thought I could, but if you could get some type of collateral, maybe a quarter of what you owe."
And that would be
$150.
Again. $150
for the portion. If you could get me $150, we could work out some type of payment system. And well, because it's you, if you could get that collateral in, I could backdate some paperwork. Say that we lost it, and that it was already in the process of being repaid, and that we were hounding you for nothing by accident. You know, just a simple bureaucratic mix-up. $150 would give us months of back payments.
I'm going to like caress his hand in a churchly woman way and go, Mr. Milton, the Lord has certainly blessed you with the kindest heart. I appreciate you so dearly. I'm sure that we can come up with the down payment to give us a little extra time. Bless you dearly.
You keep this between us, though, all right?
My lips are sealed. From
quick question.
Yeah.
The other night, the fellow who came to the door was from the Barrows.
He was from Barrow Mining. Oh.
All right. Well, if it seems like everything's concluded and we were about to leave, Flora would also kind of indicate to her eye and be like, yes, I'm assuming the problem with your stairs was some of the barrow lads.
I don't know what you mean at all. Was that a joke about some coal dust on the stair? I guess there might have been, but I wouldn't say it was anything like that. I just got a loose floorboard is all.
Of course.
Cool. When we leave, I'm gonna talk to Flora about selling some of my expensive items, because I have some.
Okay. Right.
But that'll be an outside, because we're not gonna be like, here's a coat.
Well, y'all have a good time. You all have a good day, all right? And he will get up from the desk and escort you out of his office.
As he's escorting a bit, Mr. Milton, if you ever need an ear to hear that maybe can respond a little better than the great lord sometimes can, please do not hesitate to reach out. Me and Russell, we have dedicated ourselves to the good people of the Lord's congregation.
I appreciate it. Y'all have a good day now.
You as well.
As he holds the door open, you can see there's a bit of tremble in his step. That was one hell of a fall down the stairs from the looks of it, with the limp that he has now. You can actually see a little bit of his pant leg hacked up over his socks, where he has a splint wrapped around his shin. The thing is damn near the only thing holding his foot on.
Is Mrs. Milton in town?
Mrs. Milton. Mrs. Milton is in town. Mrs. Milton, Mary Grace Milton, is not a particularly kindly woman. And she is a mean-hearted widow in her second marriage, about 10 years older than he is, and, well, she married into it expecting a bit of money. Well, yeah, she didn't get any small amount of that as a banker, but, well, as a banker's wife, but, she doesn't tend to go to too many church services. When she does, she's of the Catholic persuasion.
After we leave, I look to Flora and I go, oh, well, what a fall. I haven't seen anyone fall that bad, ever.
I've seen it before. These are rich types.
Would we know Mary Grace to be like a gossipy type woman in her cruelness?
She has been known to spit some vinegar from time to time.
'Cause I think that Louisa believes that he got beaten up by the oil man. And so I'm like, well, the wife would know.
Right.
I think if Flora realizes that Louisa doesn't get it,
she'll
pull her over and whisper carefully in her ear, making sure there's nobody around, what exactly that all meant.
Oh dear. Poor Mr. Milton. Anyways, I got a few things we can sell to try to come up with that $150.
Let's see if we can get to it. I mean, worst case, Petunia's in good shape and worth about $30.
I got a camera. That's about 20 there, so we're at 50. That's only need 100 more.
All right. You start figuring out the things you need to sell and start heading back toward your place of residence. And as you do that, we're going to switch back over to Essie, as she's back at the house, doing what you're all doing, trying to survive and pick up the pieces where your mama left off. Essie, you're in the middle of cleaning the house right now, keeping an eye on things, and it's pretty tiring. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
And as you are doing so, can you please do me a favor? Can you make me an intellect roll?
Sure.
We're going to say this is going to be difficulty of 3. Unless you got anything special that helps you hear stuff. All right. So, Essie, what do you have that... do you have anything that would help you detect anything nearby or sense anything?
Yes, I have nearby presence, which means I can sense a magical entity close to me, offering to lend a hand. They might ease your next ability, buy you some time, or protect you for a few rounds. That is, if the entity is helpful, I think.
Okay. I think that could potentially be useful, but not in this situation specifically. Okay. So why don't you give me an intellect roll to see if you notice something? That's a really good thing to have, though.
Yeah, that's one of the sage player intrusions, which is... I took it.
I love that so much. You can just decide that happens for an XP. I love that.
I know, right? Okay, so intellect... Sorry, what's my difficulty?
Your difficulty is going to be 3.
3, okay.
So you're looking for a 9.
13.
13, all right. You know what? Let's not give Lily-Ruth all the fun with some pain here. You're going to be working around the house. You're going to be cleaning some stuff, and as you do, this house has seen its share of of age over the years. And as you are cleaning around, you are going to hear something creak under your foot. And as it does, you're going to feel the floor kind of weak in one of the corners by the china hutch. Probably from all the weight of that hutch on it over the years. But as you step on it, you're going to hear a pitiful sound coming up from the cellar. It's a mew. A pained meow.
What?
You know your mama had taken to feeding some of the stray cats that wandered around the farmsteads around here.
Well,
Seems like one might have gotten into the basement.
Well, you never know. Barn cats are always good to have, so... Oh, goodness. I'll go see if Mama kept a spare can of cat food around somewhere and see if we can find that little one downstairs, down in the cellar. So she'll go have a look. Now, am I lucky enough to find a can of cat food?
Yeah, you can find a can of tuna at least.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I'll get a little can of tuna.
Those are your options. Tuna or smoked oysters.
Oh, I don't think anybody likes smoked oysters, so it's going to be the can of tuna. And
all right.
She'll open it up and carefully go downstairs. Go down to the cellar.
You go around the side of the building to the cellar doors. The cellar is a particularly precarious place, and as you were growing up, your mama told you never to go down in there because the floor, well, you never know. This house was built on some unsteady foundations, she said. Not only that, there were snakes and spiders and all manner of creepy crawlies down there, as well as the old well.
Yep. Okay.
Well,
the well is in the cellar?
There was an old well that the house was built on top of. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Now you have a well besides that, but the old one was under there.
Yeah. Okay.
As you head down, you're going to hear a sad, pained meow coming from one side of the cellar, and you'll see where one of the little access ports, well, a hole in the side of the lower building, where this cat must have worked its way in.
Oh, poor thing. Come on. You can come on out here.
The cat meows at you tensely from the corner, and you can see bright yellow eyes reflected at you in the bit of daylight streaming down from the open cellar door. It mews at you, and it moves toward you. You can hear a rattle behind it.
Oh dear. What you got behind you there? Come here. Well, yes.
All right. As you head closer, you are going to see something that breaks your heart. You're going to see two things, actually, in the dimness of this. In the center of this expanse, you're going to see an old rock well, boarded up in the center of the room. The timbers on top of it are slowly rotting away with age. But there's no moss, there's no growth of anything around here. Just barren dirt. And as you step on some of that dirt, you're going to notice that it groans and squeaks under your feet. And as you take a step, you're going to notice that parts of the ground here aren't dirt. They're planks of wood with dirt covering them. And as you take a step across that, I'm going to give you 2 points of experience, and I need you to make me a speed roll.
Okay.
So you may give one of those points of experience to a friend. Who would you like to give it to?
Oh, I have the sense that possibly, I think Lily-Ruth might need it. If she's thinking she's gonna go after.
What's the reason?
Mrs.
Give her
Milton.
a shout out.
Oh, because she's willing to take on Mr. Rory Milton, and she thinks she's gonna go and have a chat with Mrs. Milton. Woo-hoo. She's a tough customer. Now I am rolling for.
That's
Do you mean Louisa?
That's
Yeah.
Louisa.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Louisa, not Lily-Ruth. Too many L's.
So one to
yes,
you, one to
Louisa.
Lily-Ruth, or one to Louisa?
Pardon me.
All right, that
One to
sounds
Louisa.
good.
Yes,
so there's
thank
going
you.
to be
Thank you,
a
Louisa.
clatter and a crash.
Okay.
Make me a speed roll. Now, before you roll, you can push.
Yep.
This is going to be a difficulty of 4.
Yeah. Okay. I will put an effort into it.
Okay, you'll put an effort in. So do you have a speed
Yeah.
edge?
No, I don't.
All right, your speed's going to lower by 3, and you have a difficulty of
Okay.
3 now. So you need to roll a 9 or
Okay.
above.
Okay. Whoops. That bounced out. Sorry.
All right.
18.
18. All right, you are going to take a step, and some of the boards beneath your feet are going to separate, dropping you down. You're going to catch yourself right underneath the jaw
Whoa.
with your hands like this, half your body dangling down into far more darkness than you are comfortable with.
Oh. Oh, hell no. Not taking me today.
You climb up,
And I...
dragging yourself up, using the side of the well as a bit of a place to put your feet and press up. You roll clear of this. However, around the base of the well, you're going to see that the ground beneath the cellar, without a light on you, you sure as hell can't see the bottom of it. The cat continues mewing.
Well... Whew. Well, that was a close one. Were you maybe trying to warn me about that? If you were, I thank you. Well, come on now, little one. Now that that's over with, you should come on out. See if we can
cat-
get you a nicer place to stay.
This cat is gray with black stripes going up and down it like a gray tabby. It's a handsome little tomcat. About maybe a year old.
Just
However,
a little.
as it tries to, it shrinks a bit from you out of fright, but tries to move, and if you hear that rattling sound again, you recognize immediately what it is. The cat is kind of behind some pipes that used to pull water out of the old well. Back in your daddy's time. And there's something made of wood and steel clacking up against it that you'll recognize as an Acme Co. rat trap.
Oh no. Poor thing.
Looks like it's lodged in there, anchored between those pipes by whatever grabbed the tip of its tail.
Oh. And I can see this?
You can see it around there. You could even reach
Can
to
see
it. But if you want to
Okay.
do it, you're going to have to make me a roll to try to convince this cat that you're its friend.
Well, I'm just gonna have to do that. Do I have anything that helps me with cats?
If you present the cat food to the cat, I will ease it by a point.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Give the cat food first. Oh.
All right. Now, this is a hungry cat that's been trapped down here for at least a day. So,
creatures.
It's scared and tired. So, I'm going to average that out and say that that's going to lower your difficulty to 3.
Okay.
If you have animal handling or any other type of skill like that, that'll reduce it again.
No, I do not. But
all right. So, you need a 9.
3. Okay. Oh, come on now, little one. Let's get this thing off of you. I've got 9.
What'd you get?
I got a 9. Woo.
Got a 9. All right. The cat's going to hiss at you a little bit, but sees the look of desperation.
Come on.
You're going to see the look of desperation in its eyes, and it's mostly going to cower up as you reach in and give it the food. It's going to start eating directly out of the tin as you turn its tail you turn the rat trap sideways and pull open the release.
Yeah.
Now its tail is bloody on the tip.
Oh.
But
we'll have to see if we can save that for you.
Put a little bit of ointment on. You think this cat's going to make a full recovery? This is just a little boo-boo.
Yeah, he'll be just fine. We'll just wrap it up with a little lavender, and he'll be a little bit of honey, and he'll be just all right.
And as you do that, the cat is going to look up at you and is going to hiss.
Come on now.
Let out a bit of a growl, and as it does, can you make me an initiative roll?
Yeah.
This is going to be against 9.
How do I do this again?
You're going to roll your speed versus 9.
Okay, my speed versus 9, and that is still for a d20.
It's just roll a d20, and if you get higher than the NPC, then...
Oh, yeah, okay, that's fair. Yep.
You can, however, put effort into it if you want.
I got a 12, let's hope.
You got a 12, so you are going to go first. You look down at the cat, and it lets out this horrible... and realize it's not looking at you.
Yeah, no.
It's looking at whatever skittering up through that hole behind you. Well, turning around, you are going to see a creature skitter up that hole in the dim light of this room that is going to give you a bit of a squint to it. The thing that comes up is not a rat. But in someone's imagination, it might be related to one. The rat thing looks up at you with 6 eyes, glowing red in the light, with long teeth rimming its mouth, and is going to chitter at you with no end of malice. It crawls up the side of the hole, leaping out from the side of the well onto the ground, and bares its teeth at you. What do you do?
Well, first, is there anything around me that I can reach quickly as some kind of a weapon? Piece of wood, piece of pipe or something?
I don't know. You can spend a point of XP to manifest one.
Let's do that. Yeah, I might as well. If I'm going to manifest something, I'm going to manifest me
There's a length
maybe
of
an
pipe.
axe.
An axe?
There's a length of pipe? If I'm manifesting, I'm manifesting an axe.
Okay, there's an old, dusty axe with a splintery handle and a rusty head down here.
Okay.
Reaching out, you're going to grab that. It's going to cost you an experience point to manifest that.
Yep.
And this thing is going to hiss it, give you a sense of things. There's the well in the center of the floor. There are the broken floorboards here, and it has leapt out. You are over here by the pipes. So theoretically, that big hole is right behind it.
Yep.
The floor beneath it is also made of that rickety wood as well, but that could cause you to fall as well if it extends out to where you are, or you could just try to mulch it.
Well, Essie likes to think that there's not much that scares her in this world. She probably hasn't seen one of these, but we're not gonna let it know that. And she's gonna, grab that axe and it's like, ain't nothing you supposed to be doing in this here cellar. You know you're not welcome here. And swing at it and into the gut.
All right,
Blade
trying to hit this thing. Now this thing is about the size of a large rat. I'll say it's about the size of a rabbit.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's going to give you a positive hit. I need you to do me a favor, and you are going to make me an attack roll. So you are going to make me a probably a might roll, I would say.
Okay.
With this, unless you have a skill that allows you to use speed or something like that.
Let's see what I got.
Okay, and you are using. We're going to say this is a medium weapon.
Okay.
So that means that. Oh, actually, pardon me. So it's not a hatchet. It is an axe. So an axe is. Well, a hatchet's a medium weapon. How is an axe a light weapon? I'm gonna say this is a medium weapon, so it's gonna deal 4 points of damage.
Okay.
Now you can spend you can put a point of effort in before you roll if you'd like.
Yes, I will.
All right, so I want you to go ahead.
Okay.
All right, it is gonna be difficulty 3 for the, or pardon me, difficulty 2 for this thing. So you're looking at a 6 to hit.
Oh, 2. Okay. All right. 17.
17. All right. You are going to slash at this, and this rat is going to take your axe. This knot rat is going to take your axe to the side of its chest and tumbling it to the ground. It is going to roll to its feet, one of its legs slinking off its body as you have dissected it off there. Little bits of sinew trailing behind like bits of string, and it's gonna hiss at you with its beady eyes and is gonna charge you. You've grievously injured it, but you've also pissed it off. Can you give me a speed roll to dodge this?
So is like half of it running at me, or just?
It's basically three-legged coming at you.
It's three-legged. Oh, great.
3 legs, 6 eyes. Coming at you.
3 legs, 6 eyes, and
all right, you're going for 6.
Okay. 18!
Okay, it's going to lunge itself at you and is going to, you are going to dodge out of the way as it awkwardly slides over to you. The cat next to you is going to let out a yowl and a hiss, distracting it a bit, giving you an enhancement on your next roll. Go ahead and roll. Difficulty of 1.
Okay. Ooh. Please, baby. Oh, another 17. I love this cat.
Okay.
This cat's staying in the house now.
There is going to be a horrible noise as your axe comes down to the edge of it. Well, it is not a sharp axe. Let me put it that way.
Nope.
But what it is a heavy implement. And as you bring it down, there is a splintering noise as the head of the axe breaks off. But not before it squishes that rat. And that is a sound you were going to remember when you go to bed tonight. The sound of stepping on a ripe tomato.
Yep.
The rat is going to let out a final shriek and go quiet.
You're an ugly little son of a devil, aren't you?
Something pushes itself up against your leg.
Huh.
The cat.
Well, I think you just about earned yourself a new home.
The cat looks up at you.
I'd say you earned your keep today.
It looks down at the empty cat food, back up at you, and licks its chops.
Well, I think we can find you more where that came from. Don't you worry none.
What do you do with the with the knot rat?
I think somebody else should see this because this ain't natural, and as grisly as it is, having been on the farm butchering animals and whatnot, she wants to have a look at this too.
All right.
So
you can absolutely take that.
It's gonna go in an old potato bag or something.
All right.
Dirty old canvas bag, and it's gonna go out outside on the porch. It's not coming in the house, but outside on the porch.
Right. Sounds good. So you're going to put that together. You're going to go ahead and hide that rat. And I need to know the most important thing for this session.
Mm-hmm.
What's the cat's name now?
Well, that's interesting. We're going to have to figure out what his name is. Because this kind of cat, he'll tell me what it is.
All right. Well, that sounds good to me. So you head inside the house with the knot rat. And we cut back across town, where Miss Louisa has made her way back to her homestead. You pull up outside with the jitter of the truck engine. Now, is Flora driving?
Yes, I'm not allowed to drive.
You're not allowed to drive. As you pull up out front, the sound of the town around you is alive. Well,
I think Flora will kind of... I hope you still remember how to drive.
Well, of course. It's like riding a bike. And then just goes quiet because doesn't want to like say anything because she has driven recently because Russell partakes a little too much in his post-sermon drinking. And so she will drive him home sometimes, but only when he's too inebriated to remember.
And as you go quiet, Flora, you're going to pull up next to her place. Now, what kind of place do you stay at, Louisa?
We're so much on the road, but I do think that our house is like pretty like quaint, a nice little like it's probably looking like a little cottagey, but it's definitely like in town. It's well painted. It's got a good like flower beds. It's all like image. It's all about the image.
All right. As you pull up outside of that house, it's a nice little house. But there's something that catches you right off guard as you pull up. And that's Russell's car. Or Russell's truck,
God.
I should say.
Back early, I see. Flora, why don't you wait here and I'll go run in and grab the things.
All right. Your husband steps out of line, though, and I will deal with him.
Oh, my dear sister, very kind of you.
Louisa.
It's very kind of you.
I did not miss those flinches.
No, it's fine. I'm fine. Just collect yourself for a moment. I'm fine. Like any relationship, we have our ups and downs, and
your husband's a wastrel, Louisa.
I'm gonna get out of the truck.
And to our chat, of course, Essie, Flora brought all her guns with her.
Smart.
You head inside the house, Louisa. And you can smell the scent of what looks like someone brought some baked goods home. There's some fresh raisin bread that's been toasted and coffee that's been just made. And as you walk in the door, a bit of that fear grips you. You hear, Louisa? Is that you, baby?
Yes, hi. Just had to grab a couple things.
I gotta grab a couple things too. Come here. And Russell's gonna turn out of the living room and head over to you with the biggest smile on his face, a little mussed, and you can tell that he might have had maybe a nip today. But he's gonna come up to you and stride up to you so quickly that you might flinch.
I think a little bit, but also I think with like, it's the word. I think also I understand the playfulness of this part. It hasn't turned yet, so I think I'm like, okay, hi, and give him. If he comes and hugs me, I'll give him a hug back.
He's gonna do more than that. He's gonna grab you under the arms and give you a spin.
Oh, Russell!
What? Can't I touch you? You're mine after all.
Oh, I know. But
yours too. Don't get me wrong.
of course. Flora's waiting outside though, and I don't want to keep her waiting too long.
Your sister's waiting outside. What's your sister doing here?
Oh, we had to go talk to the bank about the house, and she gave me a ride.
Oh, you're about your mama's house, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's funny, actually. Maybe you should tell Flora to head out. We have some talking to do in here.
Oh, well, Essie really still needs our help. She's very distraught. You know, she attached she was to Mama.
Yeah, she loved your mama. Baby girl. Think of all the good we can do. We don't need your sisters.
My love, my daughter, and she like caresses her face and is going to try and soothe him down a little bit, and go, my heart and soul, I fully want to be here, and you know that, but we just buried Mama. All the chickens died this morning. I think that if I don't use
your chickens,
if I don't use God's good grace to help my sisters right now, I do think they'll just fall off the deep end, and I'm quite scared of that. You must understand. We don't want anyone falling into...
No, baby, you don't understand. God has given us a gift. Allow me to introduce a friend. And he turns around, and this is the first time you notice, in the sitting area of your house, there is a man standing there with a bowler hat, a derby, sitting on the desk, a broad mustache on a handsome face. And as you look behind, you will see none other than J.M. Thorne of the Barrow Mining Company. God has delivered us. Think of all the good we could do with that money, baby. Your husband smiles at you. You just gotta get rid of your sisters first.
Oh, Mr. Thorne, as I'm sure you could tell from our meeting this morning, that my sisters are not easily ridden. I've tried many years to get rid of them, but we just keep coming back together in the end.
Don't worry, baby, Russell says and puts a finger over your lips. We'll find a way. And I think that's where we're going to call game for today.
Never wanted to murder someone more.
By the way, Louisa, I'm going to give you 2 points of experience to share for that, because that was a DM intrusion right there.
So fun.
Absolutely.
I'm going to share this with... I'm going to share this with Flora, because Flora...
Louisa, you might
apologize in advance, but your husband's going to meet my shotgun at some point.
The shotgun and the other shotgun.
So, I'm going to also give y'all, 1 experience point mutually for whatever the hell happened to the chicken coop.
Okay.
You discovered something weird. I'm going to give Essie 1 for discovering the hole in the basement, which will become a mutual when you share that. And I'm going to give you all 1 for the eventual discovery of the rat. Not rat.
Sorry, what do you mean by mutual?
So everybody's going to get 1.
Oh, okay.
So a group.
So I thought it kind of sounded like it was 1 shared among all of us somehow. So I was like, is there another XP pool? Like, how does this work?
So why don't we just assume that since everybody's going to be sharing these details, Essie, that everybody's going to get a base 3 experience for this session then, plus whatever you earn from DM or GM intrusion.
Yeah.
So I believe that's everybody either has. That's going to be everybody has at least 4, if not 5, experience points for tonight.
Yeah, because I got 2 for the floorboards. Yeah, I can see
I'm at 6 as well.
So I started at 2, got 1 from Lily-Ruth,
got 1 from me,
got 1 from Louisa,
and got 3 base.
And 3
so we got 3 more.
Yep,
so I'm at
6 experience.
There you go.
And then Essie's down 1 because she spent 1 to manifest an axe.
I spent 1.
Yeah.
I would also be at
It
7.
was well worth it.
All right, so you add that to your total. That's a lot of experience.
Cool.
We are going to be getting into this next time. So, folks, thank you for tuning into this episode of Old Gods of Appalachia. I hope you enjoyed this little session. I love keeping these things nice and tight. These are still about 3 times the size of the ones from Old Gods, the podcast, if not longer. So I think you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting your money's worth, folks, if you want to support this stream, the best way that you can do so is heading over to our Patreon at patreon.com/dorktales, where for as little as $1, you can give us $1. But I prefer if you give us $5, because at that level, you get a ton of additional perks like seeing this video up to a month in advance or 3 months in advance if it's some of our other content. We're being a little quick with Old Gods because I just want to share it with the world so much. You'll be able to see things like Mage the Ascension Technocracy Zero Sum, Dungeons and Dragons, Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel. You'll be able to see Strixhaven, a Curriculum of Chaos. You'll be able to see some other stuff that's coming up soon that I can't tell you about, but I guarantee it's good, as well as podcasts with our team members. And every couple months, you get a copy of Dork Tales, the podcast, which is a real hoot and holler into the weird world of tabletop gaming. Besides that, there's other perks that you can get as well. One of which is getting your name read out at the end of the episode as our producer list, which I'm going to do right now. Thank you to those who keep the lights on and the home fires burning here at Dork Tales. Like our divine producer, my mama, Jan. Thanks, mama. Appreciate it. And my stepdaddy, Bob. I also want to say thank you to Precarious, who's our Funkle Breck. Not by blood, but by fun. Hey, family. To our wizards of the Patreon, we got the Ink Goblin and Tammy, the Forever Cleric. We also got our High Council of the Patreon, which includes Taryn, Buddy, Amberthist, Raven with Baubles, Karasha Urquhart, Chef Aladeth, LaRuke, Sorcerer Sanguine, and Mike Baxter. There's our real family, y'all. Not by blood, but by deed. And the rest of our patrons over at patreon.com/dorktales, I gotta thank you. Folks, if you like this game, you're gonna love Old Gods of Appalachia, the podcast. We are not affiliated in any way besides the fact that we listen to it, we love it, and we play the game. So go support them. Go download the episodes. I guarantee you're gonna like it. And besides that, if you want a copy of this book, it's over at Monty Cook Games. Like I said, we're not sponsored or affiliated, although Monty Cook and Monty Cook employees, if you see this game and you want to, sponsor us for some content, you just hit us up. I'm sure we could reckon something out there. And, folks, y'all have a good day. And we'll be back down in West Virginia soon enough. Good night, y'all. Bye, family.
Bye, family.
Bye, family.
Night.
Pray to the fire, 'cause water has come. Pray to the east, where the traveler is from. Dine with their mind and in time read their soul. For about in this heaven is a topless hole.